Hey, what's up, guys? Joey McKernan here. I am with Sarah Wemhoff-Strong with Sammy Strong. Sarah, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Good. We are here to highlight nonprofits, and we love to highlight nonprofits that maybe, just maybe, you haven't heard of yet, but you should. And you
Absolutely.
should know about what Sarah and Joe are doing. So, how about you just introduce yourself a little bit? Tell
Sure.
us your name, your social security number. No, just kidding. Tell us everything about your life.
Yeah,
And no, just tell us a little bit about Sammy Strong
sure.
and just give us the 10-second pitch.
Yeah.
And
So, like Joey said, my name's Sarah Wimhoff-Strawn, and my husband and I, Joe, in 2001, started a local nonprofit called the SammyStrong Foundation. Our mission is to connect and support other kids and families.
sorry, I'm breaking my mic over here. Keep going, keep going.
Other kids and families who are fighting pediatric brain cancer, and then the organizations that are helping them fight as well. So we got started kind of in a pretty traumatic journey and stance that we're still even kind of navigating. So our youngest son, Sammy, was diagnosed in 2020, October of 2020. It started where he had come home from school twice in about 10 days with pretty severe headaches, and just kind of unusual where he'd sleep it off and then boom, he'd feel better like nothing happened. In that time period, it was obviously the height of COVID, and so
Yeah.
there was just a lot going around. Reached out to our pediatrician and had said, well, like maybe go in and let's kind of get things checked out. And so that night we did, and kind of driving down there, not really worrying or nervous about anything. I kind of was thinking at worst it would be migraines, or
Yeah.
our family has a history of having migraines. And we went into the ER and got started. And about 2.5 hours later was when the doctor came in and asked to talk to us outside and let us know that they had found a tumor in the left side of Sammy's brain. Um,
How
and
old was he?
he was 9 at the
He was
time.
9.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
And as you can imagine, everything kind of shifted at that moment, and just a flood of emotions, and how are we going to tell Sam? How are we going to tell our two older kids? What does this mean? And just kind of wanting to figure out the next step, and just, yeah, just kind of starting there. 3 days later, Sam went in for surgery, because what we did figure out and find out fairly quickly was the reason why he was having headaches was because he has hydrocephalus from the tumor, and it was
Okay.
pushing against his head. And so we went in for that surgery. At that time, we're had been moved to our third hospital here in Omaha, and during those first couple of days, we were getting a lot of different information. We were working with a great surgeon here, and our first prognosis was, although Sammy had what the neurosurgeon had explained was like the best brain tumor a kid could get,
Sure.
but it was in the worst possible place,
Yeah.
for the tumor, to where the surgeon, even I remember, said like it's a surgeon's worst nightmare of where the tumor was placed. To where then he went on and kind of shared that couple of different options. One, because this tumor is typically a slow growing tumor, we could kind of sit and wait and see what it does. And he had suggested the possibility of chemo and radiation, but then ultimately said that this tumor doesn't really play well with chemo, to where maybe it would shrink it. But if we weren't able to fully remove it after the chemo, essentially he said in the next like 5 to 10 years it would come back, and Sammy probably wouldn't survive it. And then the third surgery was, or the, excuse me, the third option was surgery. And at that point, he had said it is a very risky surgery, where he had said probably at best Sammy wouldn't be able to walk again and probably would lose a significant portion of his right side.
Wow.
So a lot to kind of process.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, thankfully, we have and had and have an amazing support system, just with a network of friends and family and school and coaches, and just everybody that was amazing and is amazing. And one of our friends, who is also a doctor here, really kind of started navigating, okay, let's look to second options. Let's look to see, like,
Right.
where else we could go. Although we have an amazing medical system and hospital system in Omaha, not all hospitals can specialize in everything.
Yeah.
And so she really encouraged us to reach out to St. Jude's, to where then we always kind of say, like, there's several angels that were up there working on Sam's side too, where my sister-in-law, her brother, it's like a weird connection. My sister-in-law, her brother went to medical school with one of the head pediatric neurosurgeons that is out at St. Jude's. And so we got in contact with him, and he kind of shared his prognosis, and what he was able to do. And just at the time, they just had different tools to be able to go and do their best work.
Right.
And so after that first surgery, we were discharged, and just kind of spent a lot of time just thinking about it and processing it, of what our options were. And ultimately we decided to go down to St. Jude's for a second surgery. It ended up being about 5 weeks later, which was also a tough decision, because again, like with COVID, our two oldest couldn't come and see Sam, just with like the COVID regulations and different things, and that was pretty hard.
Wow.
And then even kind of just navigating when he was home, and just all those different things on your plate. And then ultimately making the decision to go down to Memphis, where we were told we could be down there anywhere from like 2 weeks to a month.
Yeah.
And obviously they weren't able to come down. Just they were also trying to navigate a 15-year-old and a 14-year-old's life as well, on top of the curveball of now we have this kind of step in our journey. So we went down to Memphis, and thankfully our surgeon was able to fully resect Sammy's tumor. There are minimal defects in terms of that, and then but we also, once we returned, came back to Madonna rehabilitation, and Sammy did pretty extensive work with pretty much every provider there, in terms of like PT, OT, speech cognition, and their TLC program. Every single person there was just fantastic.
Wow.
And so kind of navigating that journey, really trying to get Sammy to a good spot. And once he was able to return to school several months later, my husband and I kind of just caught our breath, and just really talking with each other, and really focusing on this level of gratitude, of not only for the providers in Sammy's life, but everybody in our support system that was there for us in so many different ways, that really allowed us to prioritize Sam and make the best decisions for Sam. And through that conversation, we also felt a really strong calling of understanding a couple of different things. One, not everybody has that support system for a lot of different reasons. And two, we live in Omaha, Nebraska. We have a great medical medical destinations, and we're two fairly intelligent humans, and still being kind of shoved into a medical world where it seems like a foreign language
Yeah.
sometimes, and
Yeah.
not really knowing how to navigate, and just really thinking of these other kids and these other families that just don't have access to a lot of that, and don't know
Absolutely.
where to start. And so through that conversation kind of started the birth of Sammy Strong, and our mission of
Mhm.
really just wanting to ensure that kids and families don't ever feel like they're fighting alone, and being able to help and support them in any capacity that we have, even if it's just a phone call, talking with, with parents,
Mm.
or kids kind of getting together and seeing like they're not the only person in the world who, who's fighting this. And the biggest mission of all is just really trying to kind of bring hope through
Mm.
awareness, and sharing Sammy's story of it can be similar stories, but it's all different, different journeys, and processes. And so really trying to formulate like that connection with families, that support, and then also understanding that there's other organizations that are just vital to this journey for these kids
Yeah.
and families also, and they need support too. And a lot of
Yeah.
times they work from donations, or they're able to do what they're able to do from
Right.
donations, and really trying to help them, and build up that network of connection and
Yeah.
resources for them.
Talk to me about what you do. You guys provide financial assistance? I hear a lot
We
about
do,
that, where
yeah.
it's like families just get caught with
It
$168,000
it's
medical
it's
bills.
it's incredible, and it's scary, again,
Right.
of the world of insurance and navigating, or
Yeah.
different things. and
Right.
um and I think also even of understanding that you can ask for a second opinion, and but will that cover? I mean, it's just a really kind of delicate process. But to answer your question, yes, like
Hmm.
we are able to help different families financially. I work really hard to kind of to connect with the different families and kind of hear their story, and um, kind of focus on two different things. Of one, like, what are they really needing?
Sure.
Sometimes it's, two parents, and their child's diagnosed, and they both have to continue to work to pay bills, and that balance is hard. And so it's kind of hearing like, okay, what can we take off your plate? So sometimes it's, all right, we'll work with a house cleaning service, and have them go in and clean the house every other week for a couple of weeks, so it's just something kind of taken off their
Okay.
plate, or meals or travel expenses. But then we've also been able to do more in the sense of pay families a mortgage for
Sure.
for a couple of months, because
Yeah.
we had worked with a family that mom was a stay-at-home parent, and their oldest was the kiddo who was diagnosed, and at the time he was 10, and there is three, if not four, younger siblings,
Sure.
still at home. And dad worked a job where, if he didn't go, he
Yep.
wasn't getting paid.
Yep.
And so we kind of connected with them, and said, okay, like, let Sammy Strong be able to cover like these couple, or
Hmm.
these couple of months of mortgage, just to kind of help, and
Hmm.
let them breathe a little bit, let him get through surgery to where both parents can be there,
Yes.
and then kind of see what they're needing moving forward.
Hmm.
Or another kiddo, we that she continues to have very intensive PT. Um, and at the time, she was doing inpatient PT, just with from different things that had happened as a result of surgery, and removal of the tumor. And although insurance was helping, their still out of pocket cost for this
Right.
very needed PT was about
Yeah.
$4,000. And so we were able to help with a portion of that and being able to do
Yeah.
that. So
Wow.
I do kind of like to try and hear from different families of what they're both needing, but I also try and talk with them. And I think it's kind of something um, special, but I feel like that's a weird word because it's special because we've been on the journey and we're a part of that journey, but kind of special of like I'm able to talk with their families and be able to say like we've been in this position, like we know how it
Yes.
feels, and therefore I know how at times how uncomfortable it can feel being like, okay, yes, I really am needing this, or
Yeah.
God, like
Mhm.
yes, like financial to to travel or in different things because that's hard.
Mhm.
And for some, although it shouldn't be as embarrassing,
Right.
and different things. And so, um, really connecting with them and trying to help take that shame off of that because
Sure.
with everything that they're going through, they should not be feeling that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there's even been times where a family was kind of like, no, like we can't, like it's okay. Where I said, look, like we're giving this to you no matter
Yeah.
what. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like you pick how you want it's coming.
Yeah.
And the number of times where I talking with the families can visibly see like their shoulders just kind of relax or, visibly get emotional and just be like getting them past that, like that hurdle of, oh gosh, I really can, I
Yep.
really can or shouldn't and just really be like, no, like this, we're a family, we're a community, we've been there, I've been
Mm.
there, and we're here. We're not gonna let you do it by
Yeah.
yourself.
Do you only help kids with certain types of cancer, or do you help? Yeah, kind of break down who
Yeah,
you
no,
help
great question.
specifically.
Yeah, no, great question. So, the Sammy Strong Foundation, we do focus on pediatric brain cancer.
Okay.
But when we do have families that, in one way or another, get connected with us that have some other cancer, we have really good connections with other nonprofits locally here, as well, to where we're able to, give them that resource or be able to kind of connect them with another foundation
That's
that
great.
will be specific for them. So I would love to be able to say yes, any and all pediatric cancer because it's also important and would love to, but that at this moment in time we're focusing on the pediatric brain
Yeah.
cancer. Hmm.
What's a different type of question? What has it been like starting a nonprofit and growing it? And
Yeah, yeah.
here you are. We met what, 3 years ago? 2 years
About
ago?
two
About
years
two
ago.
years ago? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Just getting it going and
Mhm.
that journey. What's that been for you?
It It has been incredible and amazing and difficult and baptism by fire at
Yeah,
times
yeah.
and humbling and vulnerable and beautiful. It's just been kind of like a roller coaster of emotions. And um I say often that if it was well, I guess if it was my perfect world, we wouldn't have the need for the foundation. But
Sure.
in my other perfect world, if I could do this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I would.
Yeah.
Um it's hard, but it's so incredible to be able to know that you're connecting with other families and you're able to help other families that have you know what those feelings are
Mm.
like. And sometimes it is really hard because you also hear stories of kiddos who aren't doing great or in a hard spot on their journey. And if I'm being honest, there are days where like sometimes I do feel survivor guilt where Sam's doing great and we're so grateful for that, and he has his own challenges. It's still a daily thing for him as well. But yeah, then you hear other stories where you're like, gosh, like I it's I can't even imagine that aspect of it. So it is an emotional roller coaster, but I'm so grateful that we have been put in a position um, by a curveball from the world, but we've been put into a
Yeah.
position
Yeah.
to be able to help and have other kids and families feel seen and feel heard
Absolutely.
and a little bit of hope of they're not by themselves.
What does Sammy Strong look like in 10 years?
Great question. Great
I love
question.
asking that question.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a visionary.
it is. Yeah, no. In 10 years, we would love to continue to grow and continue to not only work with families, but ideally be able to have um, more of a foundation to not only be able to help families on a bigger capacity
Mm.
of from a financial standpoint, but also continue to make those connections with other organizations who are doing great work in helping these families. I would love to um, be able to have a relationship with maybe some local hospitals to where when they have a kiddo who's been diagnosed, Sammy Strong is one of the first foundations
Yeah.
in their head to be able to say, okay, reach out to this foundation,
Yeah.
because they have a personal connection with that, um, and being able to that, I think just continuing to spread awareness and
Hmm.
network. So Sammy Strong is a name
Hmm.
for a foundation where it is bringing kind of hope and connection
Yeah.
with people. We have a really good relationship with Team Jack, and they are just doing amazing work too. And I'm so grateful for them because their focus is obviously on research,
Yep.
and that is so unbelievably needed. So selfishly, it kind of makes me feel a little bit calmer of like, okay, you've got this
Yeah.
area
Yeah.
covered.
Sure.
And so that really allows us to focus on what I think one of our strengths is that connection
Yeah.
and that support with families. I have a group chat with several of the moms from their kiddos have also been diagnosed and are in different parts or different paths of the journey, but Sammy Strong has been able to connect and help with, and that's just
Yeah.
incredible. We're able to celebrate the wins, and we're able to
Yep.
celebrate the hard days, and so wanting to kind of keep that um, that level of connection
Mm.
as well for different families. I just think it's important because
Yeah.
it's not a lot of times people and just because they don't know, right?
Mm.
Like they think, oh, okay, well, you're done with chemo or you
Sure.
had the surgery.
Sure.
um like for Sammy's story of, there's a number of times where I hear people say like, well, yeah, but he's good now, right?
Yeah. Right.
And yes, he's in a great position. Like I
Yeah.
said, there's different battles that we continue to
Right.
and will forever to fight, but um it's not a period at the end of that
Mm.
sentence. There's so much that still kind of goes into it, on different levels. And then the another component of it that is a really strong vision for our 2025, 2026 is um, really taking a step to incorporate the siblings.
Mm.
Anyone who's dealt with a cancer diagnosis with a family member knows that it's not just the kiddo that's affected. It's not just the parents that are affected. The siblings worlds are rocked as well, and it could look very different depending on the age of siblings. And um, at times, not by any fault of anyone, but at times, like those siblings can sometimes get kind of put in the corner a little bit just because of the emergentness of what's happening. And that's hard for a parent, even thinking, I don't want this to happen,
Mm.
or trying to be intentional about it. But also the reality is like the kiddo who is needing to go to appointments or, and different things
Mm. Mm.
can become like that focal. And
Right.
so really wanting to do something to uh, allow the siblings to kind of be seen too, and even
Mm.
kind of like normalize that for them of like, it's okay, like whatever you're feeling, it's okay. And ideally even professionally, I'm trained as a mental health therapist, and so there's kind of like an integration of those two worlds of wanting to support the siblings as well.
Mm.
It's like our two oldest, um, it, the diagnosis of Sam affected them very, very differently.
Yeah.
And they expressed it very, very differently. And it's things that we're still dealing with, even 4 or 5 years out of how to kind of continue to repave
Yeah.
that path
Yeah.
for all of us.
Well, you guys are doing amazing work,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for what you do. What are some events that are coming down? I know you got some
No,
happening, so
yeah,
tell
no,
us about
we
those and how people can get involved.
absolutely no. We hold 3 annual events each year. We have our casino night, which was back in January. Traditionally, we have it in January where it's cold and gives everybody something fun to do in Nebraska. Yeah,
Drink bourbon. You can drink
always,
bourbon in the cold.
always, yes, it helps.
Warm up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But we have a couple of events coming up. So we have our Birdies for Bravery, which is our golf tournament coming up Monday, May 12th. It's the day after Mother's Day. We hold that out at Field Club,
Okay.
which is an amazing venue. They are wonderful to work
Mm.
there. It is an event that in the past has been sold out, which is really excited. So we're working hard to make sure that
Good.
that happens, and we're definitely getting close. And so that, like I said, that is coming up. Um, Anyone who is wanting to volunteer, obviously play. We're always welcoming, sponsorships as well. But then we also, a little bit later on in summer, we have our inaugural event. We kind of call it our passion event. Is we have our SammyStrong 5K home run derby out at Warner Park.
Mhm.
It's Saturday, August 2nd. It is an amazing, just incredibly humbling, fantastic family fun
Mm.
event. We're shaking it up a little bit this year in the sense of in addition to the 5K, we are doing a 1 mile walk run that we kind
For
of
people like me, is that what you're saying?
for anybody. It's all
1 mile
levels.
walk. Hey, I can
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that. I can do that.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And we also introduced the 5K as a relay.
Sure.
So we had a couple or we had a lot of people say, yeah, like I want to do the 5K, but it'd be fun, to do it with some teammates or
Sure.
and
Yeah,
different
yeah,
things
yeah.
like that. So we kind of thought outside the box this year and integrated those two to be a little bit more on all different like skill levels and stuff like that. So the path is still going to be around Warner. It'll be great. And then our home run derby, anybody, any age, male, female, any skill level is able to get down on the field and hit home runs.
Hmm.
And so 8 or older, I guess I should specify, 8 or older is on the field. Our little home run hitters get to go on the t-ball field
Okay.
out there, which is just as fun, and they can get prizes too.
Yeah.
And then obviously the distance of the home run, depending on whether you're
Sure.
10
Sure.
or 36 is different, but
Hmm.
it is just an incredible event. And it's one of our just humbling moments of
Mm.
knowing that something baseball that is and was Sammy's biggest why
Mm.
of why he worked so hard to get back to where he is, why he continues to work. His why and his hope is now an event that is continuing to spread to bring hope to other kids
Wow.
fighting is just incredible. And to have it out at Warner is fantastic. That was something that we went out to Warner
Yeah.
last year. And yeah, it's great. And we'll have food trucks out there, and
Awesome.
so you can grab your coffee and go on your one
Yeah.
mile walk if you want. We'll have a coffee truck out there, and Big O snow and food and stuff like that, and music and different things, to where it really is just
Yeah.
all day family fun event. It's just so wonderful. So we encourage anybody to come out, baseball teams, softball teams,
Awesome.
Runners,
Yeah.
walkers, anybody, and even just come out.
Awesome.
And,
Where can
enjoy.
people find the information about this?
Yes, so our website is GoSammyStrong.com. You can find out about all of the events. You can find out about we're starting to spotlight like a warrior story
Okay.
every couple of months on our website. Can learn more about volunteering, sponsorships, anything is all on there.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you, Sarah.
Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank
or
you.
having me come out.
No, it's fine. Thank you for being here. And guys, as you're listening, it's gosammystrong.org.
.com.
.com. Okay. .com. Gosammystrong.com. Check it out.
Yeah.
Check out their event at Warner. That's going to be a great event. Lots of fun.
Yes.
Bring the kids, have some fun, and just connect with a great cause. So, again, thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And thank you guys for listening. Check them out. All their website info will be in the post here. And make sure you share this and get the word out for this amazing cause.
Yes,
And
thank you.
we will be back here with another nonprofit.
Awesome.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.